Just like many of his predecessors, US President Donald Trump decided to leave Washington, D.C. for the New Year holidays. However, spending time in his private golf club in Palm Beach and leaving the White House could not stop the Republican billionaire from causing controversy. In his first 2018 tweet, Trump regretted that the US had given Pakistan billions of dollars in military aid and slammed Islamabad for giving Washington, quote, nothing but lies and deceit in return. Trump even went further, accusing Pakistan of harboring terrorists the US has been trying to capture in neighboring Afghanistan.
So I don't think with all the money that the United States has provided Pakistan, that the United States and Pakistan were ever really on the same page. So I think that this is a kind of a natural outcome from a relationship where the two parties were never really pulling in the same direction to begin with.
Now the US envoy to the United Nations has alleged that Pakistan is playing a double game on fighting terrorism, announcing punitive measures against Islamabad.
The administration is withholding $255 million in assistance to Pakistan. There are clear reasons for this. Pakistan has played a double game for years. They work with us at times, and they also harbor the terrorists that attack our troops in Afghanistan. That game is not acceptable to this administration. We expect far more cooperation from Pakistan in the fight against terrorism. The President is willing to go to great lengths to stop all funding from Pakistan as they continue to harbor and support terrorism.
The US president's controversial tweet about Pakistan has triggered a war of words between the two countries. Pakistan's Prime Minister called a meeting of the National Security Committee during which the top civilian and military officials voiced their deep disappointment over Trump's comments. In a statement, the National Security Committee rejected Trump's remarks as, quote, completely, adding that they contradicted the facts. Separately, Pakistani foreign minister said Trump was trying to blame Pakistan for the US failure in Afghanistan.
There's a lot of validity to that analysis that the United States, as it always does, never wants to admit when it's wrong, and it always tries to find other reasons and excuses for its failures. And the invasion of Afghanistan from the outset was doomed to fail.
Meanwhile, in protest to Trump's tweet, Pakistan's Foreign Office has reportedly summoned the US ambassador in Islamabad. Pakistan's growing disenchantment with the US could have political consequences for Washington, whose influence over the region has been waning. Should the US cut all its financial aid to Pakistan, the South Asian country is expected to tilt towards Washington's rivals, namely Beijing and Moscow. Meanwhile, China and Pakistan have stepped up efforts to strengthen bilateral trade ties. A day after Trump's tweet, Pakistan's central bank officially adopted China's the currency for trade between the two countries. Last month, during a trilateral meeting in Beijing, foreign ministers from China, Pakistan and Afghanistan also agreed to discuss ways to boost economic cooperation.
First of all, China and Pakistan share a common border, a small section, but they share a common border. And one of the very interesting things about China over the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, is that as the United States steps out of relationships and treaties and arrangements, China is stepping in to fill that void.
Unpredictability has been a defining characteristic of Donald Trump's turbulent administration. Such a feature could result in the United States' further isolation, as it would prompt those governments who view Washington as a reliable ally to think of alternatives.